From high school dreams to Hollywood stardom, two friends took vastly different paths. One rose to fame while the other faded into obscurity. Yet, when fate unexpectedly brought them together again, a shocking act of kindness proved the true power of friendship. Welcome to this heartwarming tale that reminds us of the resilience of the human spirit. Victor Smith stood at the front of a lively classroom in Jackson High School, guiding his students through the final math lesson of the day. The marker in his hand swept slowly across the board, the soft squeak echoing in the room as the students listened. However, in the back row, a few students started whispering and giggling, pulling Victor's attention away from his explanation. "Is something funny back there?" Victor asked, directing a firm look at the group. The classroom erupted in laughter for a brief moment. Victor tried to investigate, but the school bell rang just then, signaling the end of the day. Immediately, the students packed their bags, chattering and rushing out of the classroom. As Victor watched them leave, a weary sigh escaped his lips. "I'm not supposed to be here," he whispered under his breath. Yet, what else could he do? When the room was finally quiet, Victor sank into his chair. He was checking messages on his phone when Coach Harrison, an older man in his 70s, walked in. "Hey, Victor, how was class today?" the coach asked, his warm voice echoing in the now empty room. Victor looked up and offered a slight shrug. "It was all right, but these kids can be really stressful." Coach Harrison laughed, reminiscing about the past. "Believe me, you were no angel back in the day. You used to give your teachers a harder time, if I recall correctly." Victor shook his head, not entirely convinced. "I definitely wasn't as bad as these ones, though." Smiling, the coach leaned forward. "I've got some exciting news, Victor, and you won't believe it. Do you remember Keanu Reeves?" Victor's expression turned puzzled as he tried to recall the name. Eventually, he shook his head. "No, doesn't he ring a bell?" Harrison's eyes went wide with disbelief. "How could you forget Keanu Reeves? He was your classmate here in high school, your best friend, in fact. I taught both of you in drama class. You two used to perform on stage together." At the mention of drama class, a wave of memories flooded Victor's mind, the halls, the stage, the shared dreams. "Oh, right," he said softly. "I remember now. Keanu Reeves." Coach Harrison nodded. "Well, he's coming to see the school play on Friday. I reached out to him on social media just to say hi, and he replied. Can you believe that? He actually said he'd be in town and would drop by." That's great news," Victor managed, although an anxious knot formed in his stomach. Coach Harrison, brimming with excitement, patted Victor on the shoulder and told him not to miss the play. Then he left, leaving Victor alone with the echo of his own thoughts. For a few moments, Victor just sat there, repeating the news in his mind: Keanu Reeves is coming to Jackson High. The thought was both thrilling and terrifying. He pulled out his phone again, typing Keanu Reeves into a search engine. Instantly, countless images of the Hollywood star appeared on the screen, reminding Victor of their shared aspirations from long ago. He vividly recalled the time they roamed these same school halls, forging dreams of becoming famous actors. They spent hours in drama class, rehearsing lines and fantasizing about one day making it big. While Keanu pursued acting at a prestigious university, Victor tried his luck at a local college, hoping for his own break. But an unforeseen accident derailed his entire life. One night, Victor and some friends went out to celebrate a birthday. They didn't think they had too much to drink, but on the drive home, the driver lost control, and their car crashed into a tree. Everyone was injured. Victor suffered a severe facial injury that not only left a lasting scar but also compromised the nerves in his face, affecting his expressions and speech. "You'll walk again," the doctors told him, "but you won't be able to act at a professional level." Devastated, Victor refused to accept it at first. Once he recovered enough, he tried to return to the stage, but each time he delivered a line, pain shot through his face, and his voice sounded strained. Eventually, he had to confront the reality: acting at a high level was no longer possible. His scholarship vanished, and with it, his dream of a Hollywood career. Remembering all this, Victor put his phone away, as the weight of those memories grew too heavy. He glanced around the silent classroom, this same high school where he once walked side by side with Keanu, dreaming of success. Now he was a teacher, instructing students who didn't seem to care. Worse, he was barely surviving, having lost almost everything he owned. His wife had left him, his business had gone under, and he sold his house to clear debts. He was, in fact, homeless. Victor inhaled slowly and stood up to head toward the drama locker room, a place he found to shower once the school day ended. Slipping inside, he took off his clothes and stepped under the running water. The warm shower offered a brief respite from the constant regrets and memories. His moment of solitude was abruptly cut short by the sound of female voices approaching. Heart pounding, Victor froze. Why are they in the boys' locker room? He muttered, struggling to decide what to do. From beyond the locker area, he caught a snippet of their conversation. "Let's check the showers," one of them said. In a panic, Victor smacked the door with his hand. The startled girls screamed and ran out, their laughter echoing behind them. Once the room was quiet again, he hastily dressed and left, deciding that he couldn't keep risking showering there. The sun was setting as he walked away from the school toward a nearby library, trying to prepare his lesson plans for the next day. His thoughts, however, refused to stay on track, drifting again to Keanu's upcoming visit. Could he face his old friend under such circumstances? Would Keanu even recognize him? Frustrated, Victor closed his books and headed to the shelter where he spent the nights. The large communal space was cluttered with mats and blankets. He found a corner, laid down, and pulled a blanket over himself. The day's worries and old memories ran wild in his mind, eventually lulling him to sleep. Time slipped by, and soon Friday arrived, the day of the school play. The whole campus buzzed with anticipation, and gossip about Keanu Reeves' visit filled every corner. Victor, however, planned to disappear quietly at the final bell. When the last class ended, he dashed out of the classroom. But before he could leave, Coach Harrison appeared once more. "Victor, you haven't forgotten about the play tonight, have you?" the coach asked. "Remember, your friend is coming." Victor gave a weak smile and nodded, not wanting to disappoint the old man. But internally, he wanted to avoid the event altogether. He lingered on campus for another hour, hoping to wait everyone out. Eventually, he tiptoed into the locker room again for a quick shower, assuming most people had gone to the auditorium or headed home. What Victor never expected was running into two figures right there in the locker room: Coach Harrison and a tall man with a familiar face and a husky voice, Keanu Reeves. It was too late to slip away. The moment Keanu saw Victor, silence settled upon them. "Why do you look so familiar?" Keanu asked, his eyes narrowing in curiosity. "Coach, who is this?" The coach took a step forward. "This is Victor Smith," he said, almost whispering. Keanu's face lit up in surprise. "No way. I can't believe it's you." He pulled Victor into a hearty hug. "What are you doing here, man?" Before Victor could formulate a polite excuse, Coach Harrison jumped in again, explaining that Victor had been teaching 4th grade at Jackson High for the past month. That stunned Keanu. "Teaching wasn't exactly your dream, was it?" he teased, but his gaze was laced with concern. "We've got a lot of catching up to do." Despite Victor's protests, Keanu insisted he come along to address the play's cast. Standing before the eager students, Keanu shared stories about his own time in high school. He made sure to mention his and Victor's performances on the same stage, surprising everyone who had no idea their quiet math teacher once aspired to be an actor. The play soon commenced, and Victor found himself seated beside Keanu throughout the performance. They exchanged quick whispers, laughing at particularly clever scenes and commenting on the student's talent. At the end, everyone in the auditorium cheered. It was a resounding success. After the play, Keanu guided Victor to a quieter hallway, where they finally had a chance to speak about their past. Laughter filled the air as they reminisced about the carefree times of their youth. But then Keanu asked the question Victor feared most. "So, what happened, Victor? What happened to our dreams?" Victor swallowed hard, his gaze dropping to the floor. "Nothing," he mumbled, unable to bring himself to explain the accident, the financial troubles, the failed marriage. Not wanting to push, Keanu just handed over his phone number. "Call me if you need anything," he said gently. He then offered to drive Victor home, but Victor, desperate to hide his real living situation, insisted his house was just around the corner. Seeing Victor's unease, Keanu left, but not without a nagging feeling that something was very wrong. Acting on pure intuition, he decided to follow Victor in his car. Unaware he was being followed, Victor took a long, winding route to the shelter. When he arrived, every bed was taken. That left him no choice but to lie down on the sidewalk outside, tears slipping down his cheeks as he stared at the night sky. Overwhelmed with sorrow, he eventually fell asleep. Keanu, watching from a short distance, felt his own eyes fill with tears. There was his childhood friend, sleeping on the cold ground. "Let us go home," Keanu said to his driver, voice thick with emotion. The next morning, Victor awoke to Ms. Peterson, the shelter manager, gently nudging him. Groggy and confused, he asked if something was wrong. But Ms. Peterson just smiled. "Not at all," she replied. "Come with me." She led Victor to a waiting cab. They drove for several minutes, finally arriving in front of a beautiful two-bedroom apartment. Victor stared at the building, baffled. "What is going on, Miss Peterson?" Ushering him inside, Miss Peterson handed Victor a set of keys. The interior was warmly decorated, with a cozy living room and a tidy kitchen. On a glass coffee table, an envelope waited. "This is yours now," Miss Peterson said, then stepped back to let Victor open it. He picked up the envelope, his hands shaking when he read the words, "From your childhood friend, Keanu." Inside were property documents with Victor's name on them. Even more astounding, nestled behind the paperwork was a check for $5 million. Victor's knees buckled. He fell to the floor, tears streaming down his face. For several moments, he couldn't speak or move. Finally, he fumbled for his phone and dialed Keanu's number. "Hello, Keanu. Thank you. Thank you so much," Victor sobbed. On the other end of the line, Keanu's voice was calm and comforting. "Just take good care of yourself, my friend, and remember I'm only a call away if you need me." Shaken by such incredible kindness, Victor wondered how Keanu had learned about his homelessness. He asked Ms. Peterson, but she claimed ignorance. Keanu never brought it up, and Victor never pressed. The transformation in Victor's life, however, was immediate. Over the next few months, Victor used his new resources to effect real change. He set up a community theater in Cleveland, offering free acting lessons to children who otherwise couldn't afford them. This space soon became a vibrant place of creativity and hope, exactly the kind of environment Victor once dreamt of experiencing for himself. Keanu dropped by occasionally to see how the theater was progressing. Sometimes, he even joined workshops, further motivating the young and aspiring actors. Gradually, Victor's confidence returned, boosted by Keanu's support. He also began attending events in Hollywood, reconnecting with the world of acting in a way he never thought possible. Despite these successes, Victor still faced occasional skepticism from certain community members who questioned his motives, wondering if he was merely capitalizing on his ties to a Hollywood superstar. Yet, through transparency, honest work, and tangible positive outcomes, Victor overcame these doubts. The community theater thrived, and Victor found himself a symbol of resilience and redemption. Now, Victor Smith is a respected businessman and community leader in Cleveland, using his story to inspire others. His theater has become a beacon of hope, teaching not just acting skills but also important lessons about perseverance, kindness, and the potential for second chances. He shows that even after losing everything, one act of compassion can set someone on a path to rebuilding a better life. Keanu's generosity and Victor's dedicated work both serve as powerful reminders that a single helping hand can ripple outward, changing countless lives. Their renewed friendship underscores the fact that sometimes, destiny weaves people together when they need each other the most, illustrating how shared history can spark hope and healing. The story of Victor and Keanu has deeply resonated with people from all walks of life. By establishing a community theater, Victor not only provides free acting classes to underprivileged youths but also teaches them the values of teamwork, empathy, and determination. Local businesses and civic leaders in Cleveland have noticed the positive changes in young participants, who often credit Victor's theater with boosting their confidence and nurturing their talent. Parents have praised the program for keeping kids engaged in constructive activities, steering them away from harmful influences, and fostering a sense of pride in their community. The theater has gradually grown into a hub where people bond over shared artistic pursuits, bridging gaps across age groups, cultures, and social backgrounds. This ripple effect of generosity and support highlights how a selfless act like Keanu's gift can catalyze widespread transformation. Today, countless individuals draw inspiration from Victor's journey, realizing that failure and hardship do not define a person's future. Instead, hope, determination, and kindness can pave new roads to success. We can all learn from this tale to look out for one another, never underestimate the power of giving, and remember that true success often comes in the form of compassion and community spirit. Disclaimer: all stories presented here are entirely fictional and created for entertainment purposes. We believe in a world where everyone has equal rights under the law and where society continues to advance in fairness, development, and civility. Our goal is to share uplifting narratives that make life a little better for everyone. Any resemblance to real events, individuals, or organizations is purely coincidental and unintended. These stories are not meant to reference any actual people, events, or entities and contain no political or religious connotations. For more heartfelt tales that educate and inspire, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Be sure to watch our next video for another dose of positivity and motivation.